NFL Week 7 officially in the books. It was a fine one. It was better than Week 6. Is it going to be as good as Week 8? The answer to your question is no. Week 8 is going to be fantastic, but before we move on there, it's Tuesday. Let's wrap up on probably your last podcast that you're listening to of the night. So let's go ahead and dive deeper into what these Week 7 games actually meant, and then there's some good storylines out there, folks, right? The Dolphins are in disarray. Eagles may have found their spark back, like a spark plug who was just left abandoned at the bottom dollar grocery store. And the Colts just continue to do Mustang Colt-like things. I don't really understand where Colts come from. I feel like it's still the bottom of the shoe, but people, let's hop into it. As you know, in these recap shows, we have 5 games that we are recapping, and since it's a little bit later, we got through in some Monday Night Football. And why was the Seahawks game at 10 p.m.? Put me in an awful mood. I'm 0-2 in my picks in that one. Only own one, the one that I gave out, 1-0, and the one that I gave out earlier. So it's an even day. What do you want from me? It's just even. It's just even, like even Steven from Disney Channel, people. Starting off, let's jump into these games. We'll cover some stories around the league, but let's go with an interesting one here, folks. Let's do Dolphins 6, Browns 31. Now, for those of you who've been following the show, preseason, I gave out Browns more than 4.5 wins on the season. I took the over on that bad boy. I figured, hey, there has to be an over, and it was the lowest total on the board and somehow ended under still with only 37 points getting scored. Now, I don't think anyone saw the Browns scoring 31 of those points, but the Dolphins are just not good. Right? And I'm ready. I'm going to do it here first. I am announcing Tua's retirement, right? As wide as this is, Tua is done playing football. And let me tell you, this right here, this thing's wide. You want to see a forehead? Bang. Last time I showed my forehead, I got a free box of Cheez-Its. Fun fact. We talk about winners on this show here, folks, like Josh Pate. And this Browns game, they came into the right game plan. Tua stinks outdoors. He stinks whenever he's going to be a visiting quarterback. So what are we going to do? We're going to have great defense because the Browns defense at home in those elements is fantastic. What else are we going to do? We're going to make sure that we just run the ball down the absolute throats, and that's what they did with Judkins. He had 3 touchdowns. They had a pick 6 for another one. It was a huge wins for this Browns team because they're like, look, we can muck it up and we can beat anyone in our own conditions. As soon as they step outside, I'm not so sure about it because when you look at the rest of their schedule, they play really tough teams at home, and then they visit when they're playing against really bad teams. For instance, they play the Jets as a visiting team. They play Jets at home. Jets might win that game just because the Browns are that bad. I wouldn't be shocked to see something like this soon. What's this? You'll learn in a second when we do the season outlook, right? Season outlook for the Dolphins, it's not bright. I mean, they suck and McDaniels is going to be fired. We'll get more into that later. Here's a stat line from Tua. 12 for 23, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. No. 3 interceptions. 100 yards, 3 interceptions. Every 33.33333 repeating on yards, 2 or 3 an interception. That's bad. They have no offense, and they give up so many yards. Their top receiver, Jalen Waddle, has 2 receptions for 15. This guy is a bona fide star, could be a stud in the NFL, has been a stud in the NFL. Fantastic, one of the top options at number 2. 2 receptions, 15 yards. The silver lining in this, which I guess there's more of a silver lining playbook. There's that movie with Jennifer Lawrence. Girlfriend, but I love Jennifer Lawrence. I'm afraid I'm going to meet her, and she's going to fall in love with me. But there is no silver lining in this. There is none. Maybe that's the fact that Tyreek Hill got injured, so you don't have to deal with him, like, being like, oh, Tyreek Hill got injured, that's why we suck. Maybe you have that, but outside of that, it's not good. I mean, the key moment of that game is probably either the first, second, or third pick when it shifted momentum, but actually I think it's when Judkins scored a 78-yard touchdown. Now, looking at the Browns' outlook for the season, again, they'll play good. They'll play good away. They'll play terrible away. They'll play fantastic when they are at home, with this defense being great. Dylan Gabriel not being able to move the ball. I wouldn't be shocked to see some Shedeur Sanders soon. When is Shedeur Watch going to happen? It's going to happen a little bit sooner. A little bit Shedeur Watch. Shout out Maddie Matheson, Beat Bar. I'm not sponsored, but you're welcome. Free shout outs on this podcast because I'm poor on it. Mike Daniels, yeah, he's going to be fired. Just waiting for the day. Tua stinks. Light on fire. Do Joker, Batman 2, walk away. Boom. Hospital game. Eagles 28. Vikings 22. Wentz's revenge game, it did not go as planned. Maybe he was coming up, like, ooh, he's Darth Vader, but the revenge game, not good, people. It was not good. And again, remember, he was an MVP caliber before he got injured with the Eagles, so people were hyped for him. It didn't go good. Didn't go great. Eagles, let's start with the negatives. Wait, fantastic that you won, but let's start with the negatives. So they got an offensive rhythm, which is fantastic. And here's the thing, though. They only rushed for 45 yards. The Eagles, whose whole identity last year was Saquon's going to rush it for you on 150 yards, has only rushed for 45 yards combined. So not great. And they let this Vikings team, now given it's a fantastic offense, Kevin O'Connell, have two of some of the best receivers in the league, they got in the red zone 6 times. 6 times in the red zone. But, I mean, I guess you could say bright side is they kicked a field goal on 5 of them. But let's be honest, if they had the Detroit Lions get in the red zone 5 times, they'd be scoring those touchdowns. So you got to play with the best in the NFC. In order to do so, they have to do what they did on the good side of the ball. Jalen Hurts, perfect passer rating, 326 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Devontae Smith exploded for a career high. I didn't write down, but it was like 183 yards or something like that. Check that. Fact check that right now, and if you put in the correct yardage in the YouTube, you'll win a prize. What's a prize? Nothing. That's life. Welcome. And A.J. Brown, he dominated with 2 touchdowns, so he was happy. The offense flowed. Timing was sharp. They were getting huge conversions on 3rd down. This wasn't just like a little Band-Aid. All right, let's just, this is not who we thought we were. We did better against previous teams. That was not a full sentence. But look, what we did against the Giants was definitely lackluster. So what are we focusing on now? We're getting the ball. We're passing it. But they still need to figure out this run game. If they don't figure out the run game, eventually they're going to take away these passes, and it's going to be very, very bad. Very bad. Vikings, look, they were able to move the ball decently. Carson Wentz threw it for 313 yards. But it just didn't translate into results, people. He had 2 costly interceptions and just horrible red zone execution, which is just not ideal. Justin Jefferson, he quietly racked up 79 yards while Addison had 128. Very quiet, but again, they got in the red zone so many times. They're the top 2 receivers. I guess it makes sense. But look, 6 times, 1 touchdown. That's not good. That's not good. And that's not just on Wentz. Sure, 4 of them are probably on Wentz, but put 1 of them on the rest of the team. Overall, Minnesota, they hung around. Right? It was in the end of the game, when the clock expired, it was a 1-score game. But nothing about their performance was like, oh, this is going to be good or promising. I think the moment that really changed everything was when A.J. Brown caught his first touchdown, because we were all like, oh my God, A.J.'s back. And then Devontae Smith kept going. The offense started to click a little bit. And Eagles, once they get the run game clicking as well, with Jalen Carter, Quinton Mitchell being healthy, they're going to be a huge threat again. Now, they're not as deep as they were, so injuries remain a real concern. Nolan Smith's going to come back. Like, this team can make a run again. Vikings, they look destined for last place in the NFC North. The Bears are playing good this year. The Packers are definitely fraudulent, but the Lions are Lions, and they're fantastic. Now, here is the thing. J.J. McCarthy, is he ready or is he actually injured? I don't think he's ready, and I think they put him on injury reserve just because of that, which is crazy. But if they don't get things moving, they keep playing Wentz like I heard they're going to on Thursday night, things are going to get very ugly very fast. To be noted, though, the line moved from 3.5 down to 3. So I don't want to have to bet on Wentz again. I might have to, and I might be depressed about it. Let's move on to a game that I hated, but then also ended up loving. Giants versus Broncos. At the end of Q3, you started feeling like, oh, this was all the Giants. They were up 19-0, and the game ended 33-32. This game was insane. The Broncos won. After being down 19-0. And it was an insane game. And if you're a Giants fan, I'm so sorry for you. But actually, I'm not, because I hate the Giants. I absolutely hate the Giants. As an Eagles fan, I'm supposed to hate them more than I hate. I'm supposed to hate Dallas more than I hate the Giants. But let me tell you, I can't even finish my sentence because that's how much I hate the Giants. They're filled in my heart. And I can't say, oh, with Jackson Dart, he's going to save us. Stop. Grow up. I can't handle this. You always get one quarterback. It's not going to flip. He's not that guy. He's kind of cool, but he's not that guy. He's actually not that cool, but Cam Scabito, I hate how much I love him. It actually drives me nuts how much I love Cam Scabito, but it's fine. Denver's offense looked lifeless for the first 3 quarters, and they posted a goose egg, right? You posted a goose egg, you're not looking good, and it was a bizarre turnaround fueled by a bunch of random chunk plays, and one pretty deep game-changing interception. They still have a pretty big problem where it's just, hey, discipline. They're giving up too many penalties on defense, and it's just not good for the Broncos. They keep getting into close games, which is good, but overall, they should be beating these teams pretty handily. The Giants, they look better for the most of the game, right? Jackson Dart was sharp, 283 with 3 touchdowns. He's keeping drives alive, even when his players shouldn't be catching the ball, but then they still are somehow. So I think that's kind of interesting because he keeps getting these pass interference calls. Eli Manning, Joe Flacco, they both made careers off of this, so maybe he can too, which is going to be super, super frustrating. Cam Scabito, good day, quiet day on yards-wise, 16 carries for 6 yards. However, did have a touchdown, so he he couldn't really break one out. Ultimately, the Giants, they couldn't finish, and it was brutal. The defining moment really came in when this Broncos team picked off Jackson Dart in the fourth quarter, trailing by 10. I don't know why Daboll ran up the yards twice. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, my God. I don't know why Daboll chose to ran it up the middle twice, and then ultimately it did go nowhere. And then you have to be like, all right, Jackson Dart, go save us because some crazy third down. And then he threw a pick. So it's bad. The Broncos right now, they're sitting at 5-2. Technically the top of the division, but we all know Kansas City's coming for them fast. There's no real path to beating the Chiefs, especially when you're this Broncos team. The offense remains wildly inconsistent, and this defense is really keeping them in the games. For the Giants, you're slated to be the worst team in the NFC East, so I guess just get excited that you have some playmakers. They're making some games close. But again, it's not like you're playing like a true last-place schedule because you have one of the hardest schedules in all of football. So it's going to be very tough, but look, again, you have some bright spots. A team that doesn't have bright spots is this Miami Dolphins team. And sure, we covered them specifically for the Cleveland Browns, but let's dive into what's actually going on with that Miami Dolphins team. We have one fan. He's not a fan. He doesn't listen to the show, I guess out of spite, who's a Dolphins fan. And Abo knows what I'm talking about. It's just sad. His life is just sad because, well, the Miami Dolphins and the Miami Dolphins are also teams that shouldn't be in the NFL. They're going off the rails. After getting blown out by Cleveland, they're sitting at 1-6, which is their worst start since 2021. Their team looks lost, lifeless, and just cooked. And Tyreek Hill, honestly, it seemed like he was a little bit happy that he got injured because he didn't have to deal with all the nonsense, all the absolute nonsense that's just going on in this organization. Every unit, offense, defense, coaching, it's all failing at once for this team, and it's sad. And look, Tua, he had a meltdown. 3 interceptions against the Browns, which pretty much feels like his 3rd straight meltdown. And Mike McDaniel, he said, kid, sit on the seat because you're not playing ball today. And he didn't even give him a piece of big league chew. He just said, kid, you're on the seat, right? And that's when Quinn Ewers came in. He did have 100 passing yards and a 24.1 passer rating for Tua, so bad. 3 interceptions as well. Quote after the game was, not proud of where I am at my play, with my play. Sorry, did I just have a Tua moment there? Yeah, no duh, you're not happy at the moment where you are with your play. You're playing bad. When you play bad, you're probably not happy with it. Here, I made a bunch of mistakes when I was trying to speak. This is bad. Am I happy with it? No, but at least I'm not Tua, right? I can go to bed. I'm not Tua, and I can just wake up and feel better. And Tyreek Hill injury, he tore ligaments in his knees out for the season. He was feeling it, right? He tweeted out, watching your team play through a TV is hard. I imagine that's hard, but I also imagine you're probably a little bit happy from that. Bigger picture, though, is like, Miami, they went from preseason, what if they could just, like, what if they can just put it together? What if they could just piece it together? Like, what would that look like? So they went from a contender to a pretender. You like that one, people? In a couple weeks, defense ranks dead last in rushing yards allowed. I took Judkins over, and he still missed by like 10 rushing yards, which was just upsetting. But they allowed 168.5 rushing yards per game, which is insane. Offense ranks in the bottom after Tyreek Hill's injury. It's not a bad stretch, just an overall organizational failure. And the question is, okay, do you bench Tua, fire McDaniel, or just blow it all up? I say, again, I said it earlier, Joker it, put on the match, see you later, hospital, bye. Things are bad. Things were bad with the Giants last year, though. They turned it around. They got rid of Daniel Jones. which looking back seems like a huge mistake. Colts 38, Chargers 24. At this point, it doesn't need to be proved again that the Colts are for real. They are for real, for real, for real. You know, Flavor Flav as well. They got a little bit of Flavor Flav in them. And the offense is just humming. Absolutely humming. Daniel Jones, full command. Jonathan Taylor, gonna run it down your throat. He's going to run it down your throat. For like every single third and long. I felt like they had a lot of third and longs. Got converted, which was super impressive. And I don't know why this keeps happening. Maybe I feel like Tyler Warren's behind a lot of it. Maybe it's his hair. I think he has good Colt, look at me, I'm a tight end, rock on hair. But he keeps getting that. Every red zone trip feels automatic. Just hand the thing Jonathan Taylor, run to the outside. He's going to figure it out. And defensively, the Colts held the Chargers to just 3 first half points. If you're going to give only 3 first half points, like a semi-decent Chargers team, let's be honest, we're kind of over them. That's pretty impressive, but they have depth in every single position, it feels like, for this Colts team. Chargers team, lifeless. First 3 games, insane, awesome, rock on, lifeless. Madison Beer, notice how I haven't said your name in a little bit? You gotta step it up, girl. Gotta step it up, girl. God, I'm still rocking on like Tyler Warren, people. And Justin Herbert did have a career at 420, lit, passing yards, and then he still lost by 2 touchdowns. So kind of a reflection of the season. Like, he could do good, but he's not really that guy. He's not that guy yet. When is he going to be that guy? I don't know if ever. I mean, they have now allowed 20 points in every single game except the Raiders. The Raiders don't really count as a football team. Look, they gave up 27 to the Dolphins, 27 to the Commanders. Commanders, sure, whatever. But 27 to the Dolphins, that's bad. It's not just bad. It's broken. They are more broken than a Chinese finger trap that's loose. Bad. And the moment it was halftime and the Colts led 23-3, from that point on, Jonathan Taylor kept scoring and this game was over. Colts are having one of the best seasons they've ever had right now. Daniel Jones look on complete other level. He's giving a full-on rebirth in this run game. He's balanced. They look like legitimate contender in the AFC to win it all. It's not crazy for them to win the Super Bowl. Honestly, the way that they're playing. Chargers, at some point, Justin Herbert, are you that guy? You have to really be able to decide that. Besides the Raiders and Titans, every matchup is probably going to be like a pretty shallow 1-score spread for the rest of the year. And that's just what it is. Buccaneers, 9. Lions, 24. Maybe. I forget. Yep. God. I'm sharp. Also, can we take a moment to discuss why the Seahawks game was on at 10 p.m.? I stayed up, but I was very tired at work today. Big takeaway from this Lions game is Gibbs is fast. Gibbs has always been fast, but when they're playing indoors, my God, does he look fast, and they are way more in control. They look clearly better than they played last week from opening snap. I think they're going to be like one of these teams. You bet the Browns at home, and you're probably going to have to bet the Lions at home as well. The Detroit defense came to play. They had multiple injuries, but they forced multiple takeaways and consistently put pressure on Baker Mayfield, which is just no small task. Because Baker's just like, and then he gets the first down, which is pretty impressive. I kind of sound like a Martian there, so if you got very concerned, looked outside your window, look back in, look outside your window, look back in because you're afraid that an alien abduction is going to happen, I get it. You're not alone. I get that comment all the time. The secondary sharp. Getting on passes, honestly, was most impressive. It's like they were stopping passes. I'm like, oh, here comes PI. And there's just no PI, which was great. On offense, Gibbs is electric. Had that huge one to the house, getting chunk plays. Amon-Ra bounced back after that bad drop. I think he apologized to Jared Goff or something like that, which I thought was pretty funny. So basically the same type of text I sent my girlfriend. I'm like, I'll do better. I'll put the dishes away. I promise. Just give me another shot, kid. By halftime, it was 14-3, and it could have easily have been 28-0. They did let this Buccaneers team hang around for a little bit, which is very concerning. The Lions at home, though, different animal. After a loss, they're also automatic, and this game really proves why. This was one of the ugliest losses for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Almost feels like ever with how much momentum they've had going. Baker Mayfield didn't have a great game. I'm a big Baker guy, didn't have a great game. 0 for 7 on throws that are over 200 yards reported by ESPN's analytics live screen, and I wrote that. And it just killed their ability to stretch the field. He had multiple things happen, like injuries, which we will talk about in a second. Their usual one-score game magic did finally run out. It's been coming for a little bit of time now, but look, you can't keep surviving every single week with late-game luck. It's just going to break the other way sometimes. Injuries didn't help either. Chris Godwin's already out, Abuka was out, and we saw Evans go down. Rashad White is the only person in the run game right now. You got to miss Bucky Irvin. He adds just like a certain aspect of electricity to this offense that I'm sure Baker loves. Just dump it off to Bucky, let him do his thing. Defensively, they held up pretty good against this Lions team. Look, in the end of the day, they only scored 24 on them, and they had 14.5, so they held them 10 points in the second half. They gave Baker a shot. But who did he have a shot to do it with, right? Mike Evans was already injured. He got injured this game. He was injured coming into it. The offense felt completely deflated, and since it happened when they were down, I was like, we probably just don't have it in us. We probably just don't have it in us. Looking forward, this Lions team is just a wagon at home. Simple as that. They need to tighten up their red zone offense, keep their defenders healthy, and just hope that they can get this first seed so they can play everyone at home. Then hope that's just an absolute rout until you play someone like the Commanders again. Buccaneers, their record, it looks better than I think what reality is. I think they got lucky with a lot of one-score games. However, you do have Baker, who is going to allow you to maybe get an edge in those one-score games. 100%. So I like them. I like them both, right? Let's do a quick power rankings as we wrap this up. Or not. Kansas City Chiefs, Eagles, Colts, Bills, Lions, in that order. Yes, people, I have the Colts as the third. Any given Sunday, these are the teams in order that can beat those juggernauts any given Sunday. Rams, Seahawks, Packers, Buccaneers, Patriots. This is the not rotten milk tier. This is the tier where it's like, well, it's not rotten. It's still good. Broncos, Jags, Niners, Ravens. Ooh, they're creeping up, but they're 2-4. Doesn't matter. Cowboys. Smells off, milk me sniffy. I'll probably be fine, but probably not. Probably disappointed. Bears, Falcons, Texans, Chargers. Should I be moving the Bears up? That's the question. This is the we have food at home tier where it's like there's excitement, but then there's just nothing there, and it's like I hate you. But I don't actually hate you. Shut up, Mom. I love you. Vikings, Giants, Panthers. Should the Panthers be higher? Maybe. Anders, Browns, Saints. Oh. Then I'm sorry you're a fan. I'm just sorry. Bengals, Dolphins, Cardinals, Raiders, Jets, Titans. I should have the Jets last, but people, that's all you have for the Affaka Show today. Stay tuned for our Friday show where we go over the best bets of the week.